A dusty frame, forgotten for over a century. And then, everything changed. It began in a small attic. A collector stumbled upon a stack of old photographs. Most were faded, forgotten snapshots of lives long gone. But one portrait stopped him cold. It was a wedding portrait, 1904. A bride in a delicate lace gown. Her eyes almost seemed to follow him. The expression on her face was serene, perfect, but something felt off. He carefully lifted the glass. Every corner of the frame whispered history. The dust of 100 years covered it, but the image beneath was pristine. The detail of the lace, the flowers, even the tiny pearl buttons, sharp as if frozen in time. He sent a photo to a friend. The friend was a historian. He glanced at the image, then froze. This can't be," he muttered. Historians pale when they encounter things that defy expectation, and this portrait did exactly that. The collector had no idea what he held, no idea the questions it would raise, no idea the secrets it would uncover. Word spread quietly at first, but soon whispers became chatter. Museums, researchers, even online history forums. Everyone wanted to see the portrait. Then came the suggestion, enlarge it. A digital scan, a magnified view. What would they find? What could possibly be hidden in a photograph over a century old? The bride in the portrait looked calm, but historians suspected she held a secret that would make them question everything they thought they knew about 1904. And that secret was about to surface. If you want to see what historians discovered when they enlarged this portrait, share this video, comment your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for the next of this mystery. It wasn't just a photograph. It was a portal to 1904, a moment frozen, waiting to speak. The collector decided to investigate. He traced the origins of the portrait. An old estate sale record mentioned a bridal portrait 1904. It had been purchased by a wealthy industrialist and then vanished. Experts were contacted. They arrived in a quiet rush. Camera equipment, magnifying tools, historians with notebooks and frowning brows. Every eye fixed on the photograph. The first thing they noticed, the bride's eyes. They weren't just looking at the camera. They seemed aware, watching, judging. One historian whispered, "This is uncanny. The detail is extraordinary for the period." Another shook his head. "I've seen thousands of photographs. Nothing like this." The room was silent except for the occasional click of cameras. They examined the lace, the flowers, the intricate embroidery. Every detail suggested wealth, but also something more. They decided to digitize the image, scan it in the highest resolution possible, a task that took hours. Each scan revealed textures, shadows, and hints previously invisible. Then came the first enlargements. The historians leaned in, eyes squinted, fingers traced the tiny details. And that's when murmurs began. A ring on her hand, a small pendant, an inscription barely visible. It was subtle, almost impossible to notice without magnification. "What does it mean?" one historian asked, voice barely audible. No one answered immediately. The air was thick with anticipation. Even the collector felt it. Something about this portrait was alive, not in a supernatural way, but in a way that stirred curiosity, fear, and awe all at once. Whispers spread through the room. Could this be more than a portrait? A clue? A hidden message? Or perhaps a secret someone wanted buried for 100 years? One thing was clear. This was no ordinary wedding photograph, and whatever lay hidden within would not remain a secret for long. If you're intrigued by what the historians found in this 1904 portrait, hit like, Comment your theories and subscribe to follow the next of this mystery. Who was she, the bride who stared from 1904 as if guarding a secret no one could unravel? Historians began digging. Old records, marriage certificates, diaries, newspaper clippings. Everything pointed to one name, Eleanor Whitmore. Eleanor was known in her town. Wealthy family, lavish parties, a life of privilege. But she vanished from public records after her wedding. No children, no letters, no trace. The portrait became more than art. It became a puzzle. Every detail was a clue to her life and her disappearance. They examined the dress. The lace was imported from Paris. The flowers in her bouquet, rare blooms almost impossible to find in the United States in 1904. Someone had gone to extreme lengths to capture perfection. But it wasn't just about wealth, it was about a message, hidden in plain sight. The pendant she wore, a faint engraving, a symbol no one recognized immediately. Historians debated. Could it be a family crest, a secret society, or something more personal, a warning? Then came letters from distant relatives, stories of whispered scandals, mysterious travels, and sudden disappearances. Eleanor Whitmore had a life that nobody fully understood. Her marriage may have been the calm surface hiding stormy depths. The portrait was a window into that world, a world where appearances deceived, where every smile had meaning, where every detail told a story no one dared speak aloud. Even experts couldn't stop staring. The more they looked, the more questions arose. The bride's calm expression now felt haunting, almost as if she knew her story would be uncovered one day, and she had left a warning. What do you think Eleanor Whitmore was hiding behind that serene smile? Comment below, share this video with friends who love mysteries, and subscribe to uncover the shocking truth in Next. They thought they had seen everything, but when the portrait was enlarged, reality shattered. The historians gathered around the computer, high-resolution scan loaded, every pixel magnified, every shadow and line exposed. The bride's eyes were the first thing that caught their attention. They weren't just calm anymore. They seemed sharper, aware, almost alive, as if the lens had captured more than just her image. They zoomed in on the lace. Intricate patterns that had seemed random now formed something, symbols, tiny markings, a code hidden in the stitching. No one knew who had sewn them or why. Then came the bouquet. The flowers, once just decorative, now revealed letters faintly inscribed on petals. Names, dates, locations. Every detail screamed intentionality. Someone had hidden messages. One historian leaned back, voice trembling. This could rewrite what we know about her life. Others nodded in stunned silence. The pendant on her neck, the real shock. The engraving was clearer than anyone had imagined. It wasn't a crest. It wasn't a simple initials monogram. It was a map, a location, coordinates pointing to somewhere unknown. Questions erupted. Why hide a map in a wedding portrait? What was Eleanor trying to reveal or conceal? And who was supposed to find it after 100 years? The room grew tense. Every historian felt it. This wasn't just a photograph. It was a message from the past, a puzzle meant to be solved only by those patient or obsessed enough. They worked late into the night. Every enlargement revealed new clues. The portrait whispered secrets that no diary or letter ever had. And with each zoom, Eleanor Whitmore's story became darker, stranger, more dangerous. This was the moment they realized the portrait had been hiding its secrets all along, waiting, patient, silent, until someone finally noticed. Do you think Eleanor left the map for a reason we can understand today? Comment your thoughts, share this video, and subscribe to follow the next shocking revelations in Next. They thought they were prepared for anything, until the portrait whispered a secret no one expected. The enlargement revealed the pendant in full detail. The map etched onto it was precise, coordinates, landmarks, and a name. A name no one had ever seen in historical records. The bride's hand held another clue, a faint scar barely visible in the original photo, now unmistakable under magnification. A mark shaped like a letter, a symbol that matched one in old, mysterious documents the historians had never understood. One historian stepped back, pale. This is impossible," he muttered. Others leaned closer, shaking their heads in disbelief. Every tiny detail, every thread, flower, and shadow was deliberate, and it pointed to something sinister. Then came the most chilling discovery. In the bride's eyes, now fully enlarged, there was a reflection, a faint shape behind her, almost invisible at first glance, a figure standing just beyond the camera's reach. Who was it? A relative, the groom, or someone else? The historians exchanged nervous glances. None could explain it. Some thought it was a trick of light, but when they compared the scan with other photos from the same era, it wasn't. The reflection was real, and it told a story no one had uncovered in over 100 years. The room went silent. Even the collector who found the portrait felt a shiver run down his spine. Every historian realized they weren't just looking at a wedding photograph anymore. They were staring into a puzzle, a message left for someone specific, someone willing to see what others could not. They decided to document everything, every thread, every petal, every shadow. Nothing could be ignored, because whatever Eleanor Whitmore had hidden, it was deliberate, and it was about to change history. What do you think the reflection in her eyes could mean? Share your theory in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to uncover the next shocking twist in Next. Historians had the evidence, but understanding it was another story entirely. The room buzzed with theories. One historian suggested the markings were part of a secret society. Another insisted it was a personal warning. A map, coordinates, symbols. Everything pointed to something hidden or someone dangerous. Old newspapers were scoured, letters from distant relatives examined. Yet Eleanor Whitmore's life remained a mystery. No mention of her travels, no explanation for the scar, no record of the figure reflected in her eyes. Some suggested it was a treasure map. Others whispered of hidden scandals, crimes buried in history. Every suggestion was debated. Every theory had holes. The pendant became the center of obsession. Experts measured it, analyzed its engravings, compared it to artifacts from the same period. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. Then came the historian with the quiet voice. "She left this for someone," he said. "Not for us, not for historians, for someone who could decode her story exactly as she planned." The team shivered. The realization sank in. The portrait was a time capsule, a puzzle designed to outlive its creator. As they zoomed in further, another detail emerged. Tiny letters hidden in the lace of her gown, so small they could barely be read. But under magnification, they spelled out words: "Find me, understand me, protect the truth." The room fell silent. Even seasoned experts could feel the weight of it. Eleanor Whitmore had left a message from beyond her time, a warning, a plea, a secret no one was ready for. And the most chilling part? It was only the beginning. What do you think Eleanor wanted to reveal with those tiny letters? Comment below with your theories. Like this video if you're intrigued, and subscribe to join the hunt in Next. They thought they had uncovered it all, until the eyes revealed something no one could ignore. The reflection, barely noticeable at first, a shadow behind the bride. But now, enlarged, it was undeniable. A man, or a figure dressed like a man, standing just beyond the camera's reach. His face obscured, but the posture menacing, watching, waiting. Historians froze. This wasn't just a reflection, it was a message from the past, a warning, a threat, or a secret meant to be protected. Speculation ran wild. Could it be her husband, a jealous suitor, someone from the family, or something stranger? They studied the angle of the light, every shadow, every detail. Nothing could explain the figure completely. It wasn't a trick of photography, it wasn't a studio assistant or random passerby. The more they analyzed, the more questions surfaced. Why include the figure in the portrait? Was Eleanor hiding something from the world or from the man behind her? Digital enhancements revealed more clues. The figure seemed to hold an object, a small box or a book, something important enough to demand secrecy. The historian who first noticed it whispered, "This changes everything. She wasn't just a bride, she was part of something bigger." The room grew tense. Every expert felt the weight of the mystery. It wasn't just history. It wasn't just a wedding photo. It was a story waiting to be told and understood. And Eleanor Whitmore, her calm smile now seemed knowing, almost as if she had anticipated their investigation, almost as if she was guiding them, one clue at a time. Who do you think the figure is? A threat? An ally? Comment your theories, like the video, and subscribe to uncover the shocking secrets in next. They thought the portrait held only secrets, but what they uncovered next would shock even the most seasoned historians. The figure in the reflection, the small box he held, it was no ordinary object. Historians enhanced the image further. Inside the box, faint symbols could be seen, letters, dates, and strange markings, a puzzle left for someone brave enough to decode it. Research teams dug deeper. Old archives, private letters, estate inventories. Every source hinted at Eleanor Whitmore's hidden life. She wasn't just a bride. She was a woman entangled in a family secret no one dared speak of. Whispers of forbidden alliances surfaced, stories of wealth obtained through dark means, and hints of betrayal. Could the figure in the reflection be guarding that secret, or ensuring it stayed hidden? Historians cross-referenced the markings on the box with the tiny letters in Eleanor's gown. Patterns emerged. Coordinates, symbols, warnings. It was a map of both place and story. She had hidden the truth, and only the perceptive could find it. The more they analyzed, the more astonishing details appeared. The flowers in her bouquet, not random. They matched letters in her initials and a date long forgotten. Even the lace in her gown held codes. Every element in the portrait was intentional. Every detail mattered. One historian spoke quietly, almost to himself. She wasn't just posing for a photograph, she was leaving a trail for someone she trusted or feared. The room went silent, the weight of history pressed down. The portrait, once a simple artifact, had transformed into a time capsule of secrets. Eleanor Whitmore had left messages that would take over a century to understand. And the most chilling part? They had only just begun. What do you think Eleanor was hiding in that mysterious box? Comment below with your theories, like this video, and subscribe to unravel the shocking revelations in next. They thought they were uncovering clues, but nothing prepared them for what the enlargement finally revealed. The reflection, the box, the pendant, all pieces of a puzzle that suddenly aligned. Under extreme magnification, a hidden detail emerged in the bride's eyes. A second, almost invisible reflection, this time of a letter tucked in the box. Tiny handwriting, a message from Eleanor herself. Historians leaned closer, their hearts raced. The words were faint but readable. "The truth lies beneath the willow. Protect it, or the world will never know." The willow? A location? A family estate? A burial site? The coordinates on the pendant suddenly made sense. Every symbol, every letter, every hidden code pointed to a real place. Then the box itself revealed more. Engravings on the lid, barely noticeable before, now matched symbols found in Eleanor's gown. It wasn't just a map, it was a key to unlocking a century-old secret. The historians gasped. Eleanor hadn't disappeared by accident. She had hidden something monumental, something worth guarding, even from history itself. They cross-referenced the dates on the bouquet flowers, the letters in the lace, and the map. A pattern emerged. It was a timeline of events and a warning. A message designed to survive over 100 years. The room went silent. Every expert knew this was more than a wedding portrait. It was a message, a puzzle, a historical treasure waiting to be uncovered. And as they pieced it together, one chilling thought lingered. Had Eleanor Whitmore known that someone would finally solve it? Or had she left it as a trap to test those who dared uncover her story? What do you think Eleanor hid beneath the willow? Comment your theories, share this video, and subscribe. Don't miss the shocking conclusion in next. For 121 years, the bride kept her secret buried. Until now. The coordinates were real, not symbolic, not poetic, real soil, real land. Historians traveled quietly. No press, no cameras, just notebooks and shovels. The estate still existed. Broken gates, crumbling stone, nature reclaiming everything humans abandoned. And there it stood, the willow. Old, twisted, massive. Its branches sagged like they carried memories. They dug where the roots bent inward, exactly where the pendant's map pointed. The shovel hit wood. A chest, small, hand-carved, wrapped in oilcloth that somehow survived time. Inside, letters, documents, a leather-bound journal, and a final sealed envelope marked in Eleanor's handwriting. The truth unfolded slowly, painfully. Eleanor Whitmore never vanished by accident. She uncovered something dangerous within her own family. Illegal land seizures, stolen wealth, names that would have ruined powerful men in 1904. Her marriage was protection, not love. The man in the reflection, not a threat, a guardian, a witness, the only person she trusted to stand behind her, literally and figuratively. The scar on her hand, from a struggle, the night she decided to disappear. The box in his hand, the journal's twin copy, insurance. If she died, the truth would still surface. The portrait was her final move, a public artifact hiding a private confession, a puzzle designed to outlive every enemy she had. She didn't run, she vanished deliberately, changed names, left the country. The letters proved it. Eleanor lived another 37 years, quietly, safely, free. Her final words were chilling. I was never meant to be remembered as a bride. I was meant to be remembered as the woman who refused to be erased. Historians sat in silence. The portrait back at the lab suddenly felt different, no longer haunting, no longer unsettling, empowered. The smile made sense now. She wasn't afraid, she was victorious. The figure in her eyes wasn't watching her, he was watching us, waiting for someone patient enough to look closer, brave enough to question, curious enough to enlarge the image. A single photograph, a century-long delay, and one woman who outsmarted history. The portrait returned to public display, but with a new plaque beneath it. Not just her name, but her story. And now every historian who stands before it feels the same thing. Not fear, not unease, respect. Because Eleanor Whitmore was never a mystery to be solved. She was a message to be understood. If this story gave you chills, share it with someone who loves hidden history. Comment below what part shocked you most. And subscribe for more untold stories history tried to bury, but failed.